Today we converted my daughter Eloise's nursery into her big girl bedroom. And I thought I would make a video just to document what today was like. I always like to document really everything in our lives and how our lives are always changing and how we go from one season of life into another season, because it's always so fun for me and sometimes really bittersweet for me to look back on those videos and just see how much we've all grown and changed and how our lives have changed. So hopefully this will be one of those videos. You can actually go back and watch the nursery tour when we first made this room. It's a small room that's off of our bedroom, but you can use it as a sitting room or an office. But when we chose the house plans, we specifically chose this house plan for this room because we knew that it would make a really great nursery. It was a small space off of our bedroom. We could be close to her. So yeah, it's been her nursery for a really long time. Maybe too long. We've probably waited a little too long to turn it into her big girl bedroom. In my mind, when I built the house, I thought this is perfect. A master suite on the first floor with a nursery. And then when she's old enough for a big girl bedroom, we'll just send her upstairs. 2 bedrooms, a bathroom. She'll have her own space. Well, in reality, after you have a kid, when they're ready to have their own big girl bedroom, for us it was probably 3-4 years old, I really did not want her walking up and down the stairs, being that far away from us. It just didn't feel right for our family. We needed more of a transitional period. So this room has been a lot of things. It's been a nursery. We tried to convert it to maybe a toddler room, maybe not exactly a big girl room, but we put a little toddler bed in the corner. We brought some of her toys in. Gradually, we just got more and more toys. It turned more into like a toy room, a Barbie room. We still kept her clothes in the closet, and they're still there right now. Although, if her clothes get much bigger, we are going to have to upgrade to some sort of bigger closet system. But it's just transformed with us. So it was a playroom for a few years. We started noticing, so I will say Eloise slept in our bed. She slept in our bed most of that time. And, I'm a big proponent. I'm a big fan of the family bed. I think it's fine for everyone to sleep together. I think it's like good for nurturing and attachment. And we've always let Eloise sort of guide herself. So we did the baby-led weaning. She potty trained herself. She self-weaned from nursing. So we have just really followed her lead and just done natural transitions. And about a year ago, so she was 4, it was before she turned 5, she was asking for a big girl bed, her own bed in her own bedroom. Anytime we would travel and we would stay at an Airbnb and they would have 2 bedrooms, she would always spend time in the other room and say, this is my room and this is my bed. But then when it would come time to go to sleep, she of course wanted to be right there in the middle with me and Joe. And I wanted her to be there because I love to snuggle her up at night. I had a really hard time falling asleep without her. But when I say natural transition, things, just take a natural course. If you just kind of follow life's lead, at least that's what I've found. So what originally happened was she started grinding her teeth at night. So as much as I loved snuggling her, I had to start to wear earplugs at night because the teeth grinding would wake me up from a dead sleep, and it was like nails on a chalkboard. It would make my teeth hurt just to hear her grinding her teeth. So that was the first thing. And then over the summer, she broke her arm. So every time she would roll over, Joe would say, she's hitting me in the face with her cast. I'm going to wake up with a black eye. And all this time she's saying, I want a big girl bed. I think I can do it. I can sleep on my own. And Joe and I were a little hesitant because there had been times where she had fallen asleep on the couch. And as soon as she wakes up, she would call for us and be crying, having bad dreams, wondering where we were at. So we started by putting a blow-up mattress in this room on the floor. and she slept in it the very first night, which, given it's a few feet away from our bed, but she slept in the bed the very first night, and she was so excited about her big girl bed. And I felt awful that she was sleeping on a blow up mattress on the floor. So I knew it's time. We have to make this into a big girl bedroom. Maybe it's not time to send her upstairs yet, but I think we can have a little transitional period where she has a big girl bedroom. It's still close to us. There's double doors where she can shut the door and feel like she has some privacy. And she does have a space all to herself. But it's just a good transitional. It's a little baby step in the right direction. So today we dropped Eloise off at a summer camp, and we came back home and we spent the entire day taking all of her toys out of here, putting up a bed, a headboard, and just turning it into a room that I feel like it's just a magical sort of little girl, whimsical, like a little girl's dream bedroom. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I love to see her little face when she walked in. I'm so excited to share that with you, just to see how thrilled she was to have her big girl bed. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, I hope you'll stick around and kind of see how this day came together. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, Mama's baby. Come get it. Baby. That baby dog. She says, good morning. I hear you're going to camp today. Did you just remember that you have camp today? Last night on the blow-up mattress, maybe. What do you think? Willy Goose. You're the silliest. First day of summer camp. It's a rainy one. And we picked the outdoor camp week, so... Are you excited, baby? Look, there's the bus. I see the bus. Oh, that's exciting. It's the trolley. We're here. Just in time. Mom and Dada can go in, get you settled. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Here we are. Thank you. We missed you this summer. We decided to do a queen size bed in her room for a couple different reasons. Number one is sometimes to fall asleep, Joe or I have to lay in bed with her. So we like to have a little bit of extra space. Or if she has a bad dream in the middle of the night, she'll call for us and one of us will go get in bed with her. And sometimes she calls for Joe and sometimes she calls for me. I think maybe it just sort of depends on, what the dream was about or whoever she has on her mind. I'm not sure, but yeah, so that was the first reason. The second reason that we chose a queen size bed is because when we do move her room upstairs, I really want her childhood bedroom to generally look the same throughout her whole life. So in my mind, I pictured her and her husband or fiance coming home for Christmas, maybe with their kids, and she could go into her childhood bedroom and she could say to her fiance that she's bringing home from college, like, this was my room when I was a little girl and a teenager, and it looked exactly like this. I don't want it to be the room that mom converted into a craft room or put the elliptical in after I moved out. I really want it to still feel like her bedroom. I want her to be able to leave clothes here and leave yearbooks here and old stuffed animals, and for her to walk in and immediately feel like she's at home and like her stuff is here. Ugh, this has been so bittersweet. It's so hard just watching your kids grow up. Okay. So I wanted her and her fiance, her husband, to be able to come back, go in her childhood bedroom, and actually both be able to sleep in not her childhood bed. That sounds kind of weird. But not even the same like mattress and stuff, but just the same scale in the room. So I don't want it to be like, oh, I grew up with a twin size bed and my room sort of looked like this, except there was a twin size bed here in this corner. But now mom replaced it with a queen so we can both come here and sleep, or so we can have guests over. I really want it to still feel exactly like her room. So we decided to just start off with a queen size bed. It's not king size, so it's not ginormous. It's not as big as it could be, but I think it works now, and I think it's something that will work really well. I like to think about it as sort of like future proof, if you will. And it doesn't hurt that I already had a queen size headboard that we had used previously in a guest room, and it's been in storage for the last few years. So it was nice to pull that out and be able to use it. I was thinking about painting it, but I decided to just leave it wood and try that for a while and see if we're going to like it. Nana and Papa got us a Pottery Barn gift card for Christmas, and it came in handy. I think it was money well spent. We were able to buy her sheets, her duvet cover, her pillowcases, and her Euros. And that was really the thing that brought the room together, just all of these different shades of pinks. And we went with princess sheets, which Eloise loves Disney princesses. And then I really loved the blush pink colors. And I love that we were able to use the curtains from her nursery. So we didn't have to buy all new curtains. And I love that there's like that consistent theme. So when Eloise was born, we said that pink was going to be her signature color. And what we meant by that is that was what we were going to do her nursery in. We were going to buy pink totes to put all of her memorabilia in. It was just going to be her signature color for us. Not that it has to be her favorite color or something that she loves, but I just like the idea of having a different signature color for each of your kids. Uh, that may be a Southern thing. That may be a over the top parenting kind of thing. But we did all of her 1 year pictures in some sort of pink outfit. Her nursery was in pink. So a lot of, if someone would buy something for Eloise, like an Easter basket, it would be in pink. If we would buy something for her, we knew like, oh, let's just do it in her signature color. And I think all of our friends and family sort of got to know that too. So anyway, if we're ever able, lucky enough, fortunate enough to have another baby, regardless of whether it's a boy or a girl, the next signature color is going to be blue. We've already started putting Eloise's clothes that she outgrows in blue totes in preparation. They're actually labeled a future baby, so say a prayer for us that can happen. Yeah, so that was how we got the design for her room and how we picked out all the bedding. So all the bedding is from Pottery Barn. Something else that has a lot of significance and meaning for us is the big oversized Jellycat bunny. And the reason that means so much to us is because that was the original bunny that we bought and put in her crib. And we used it to take her monthly pictures, 1 month, 2 months, all the way to 12 months. For her very first year, every month we took a picture with the bunny. And you got to see her grow next to that little that really large stuffed bunny. And she kept getting bigger and bigger. And we also use that bunny for back to school pictures. So you've probably seen where they set up like the Toy Story characters, and then they get a picture of their kid like from behind Toy Story characters with their kid walking out the door. That's what we did this year for back to school, but we put the bunny in front of the door. And then to see her come home and jump on her big girl bed and see her on her bed next to her bunny, it was just so reminiscent of her as a baby, like growing up next to that bunny, and just that, the bunny sort of represents just time and just growing up. for the most part, I think it's done. I think we have a big girl bedroom. It's your big girl bedroom. I've been so emotional. I didn't think I was going to be this emotional. I've had a hard time getting through this one. But I'm glad I'm doing it. I think when it's all said and done, I'll be really glad that I did this video. And you can probably tell that being a mama has been the greatest joy of my life. I mean, our lives completely revolve around Eloise Lynn. So without further ado, I hope you enjoyed today's video.